Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
The sounds of sirens coming from breaking news this morning. 2 people are in the hospital after a crash. This is near 10th Street and Abbott Drive shortly after 1:30 this morning. Right now, we don't know if just the motorcycle you see on your screen was involved, but dispatch says one victim is in critical condition. The other's injuries are not life-threatening. Stay with us as we work to learn more. For now, good Sunday morning. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Maria Cade. We do have a first alert to sunshine to start off your weekend. Here's meteorologist Bo Fogel with a look at your forecast. Bo? More breaking news this morning. Pope Leo sharing blessings and prayers inside St. Peter's Basilica today to start off his first Mass. Now Pope Leo formally takes on his role as leader of the Catholic Church. He replaces Pope Francis from Argentina. As we know, he died on April 21st after leading the church for 12 years. Throughout that time, he battled with traditionalists and championed the poor and marginalized. Back here in the States, 19 people are hurt after a Mexican Navy training ship hit the bottom of the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City. You got to take a look at this video. 2 people on the ship died after the crash. 2 others are still in critical condition, according to New York Mayor Eric Adams. The ship was damaged when it crashed, but as for the bridge, it was left untouched. Just look at that falling. The cause right now is still under investigation. We're also tracking the latest out of Palm Springs, California. 1 person was killed there, 4 others hurt when a car exploded near a fertility clinic. The FBI is calling the blast a, quote, intentional act of terrorism. Some buildings were very badly damaged, and the blast spanned several blocks. The FBI says this bombing investigation is one of the largest that the agency has seen in Southern California.
We have a person of interest in this investigation. We are not actively out searching for a suspect.
Witnesses say the back of the building was blown out and the roof also collapsed. We can also tell you that California Governor Gavin Newsom has been briefed about the situation. Turning now to the deadly storms that swept parts of the Midwest and South, impacting so many people there. Kentucky's governor says a tornado killed at least 18 people. It also damaged homes, tossed vehicles, and left many people homeless. Parts of 24 state roads were closed, and officials say some could take days to reopen. The state's National Guard is helping with those emergency efforts.
Right now, all our efforts are still focused on searching and rescuing anyone who might still be in danger and tending to those that are still fighting for their lives. We think we have at least 10 people in critical condition right now, with others still receiving medical care.
Just devastating there. The governor says the death toll might rise even more. As for St. Louis, there have been no reports on any new injuries from those storms. And new this morning, a team of first responders in Kearney responding to a single motorcycle accident. It happened yesterday afternoon, and we're told the motorcycle lost control while turning and went off the road into a field. The driver, a 55-year-old male, was taken to a local hospital where he is being treated for serious injuries. A water shortage still causing major problems for people living in Avoca, Iowa. We told you how nearly half the town was living without something that we all need. But thanks to the help from city officials and community members, water is back in most of those homes. There is still a boil advisory for the time being. We spoke with the city administrator, who says that because of a water pressure issue, the town was struggling to get that flowing water. They had to turn off their water tower, but now it's back on. Residents there say this isn't the first time they've had issues.
So regional water, rural water, we've been dealing with this problem for about 3 years now, water conservation issues. And essentially at the beginning of the week, Saturday, we just ran out of water.
We have went through a lot of water. Bottles of water, gallons of water. There's a lot of people upset about this situation.
Now, the city tells us the boil advisory could last anywhere from a few days to even a couple more weeks. Now, a Bellevue nonprofit is working to make sure people with disabilities have a safe place to go to support them. It's the goal of Asha's House. It's located near 25th and Rose Drive, and it's a respite home for people with special needs so their full-time caregivers can have time away if they need to recharge. Volunteers spent the day planting, working on their outdoor garden program called Growing Connections. They say it's another way to enrich the lives of their clients. The founder, Sharon Chiduri, says it benefits them mentally and physically, while also tying into other areas like social skills.
Once our garden is up and growing and in abundance, then we will open it up to the community to come in on Saturdays, where our clients will be the ones taking care of them.
Just amazing work they're doing out there. Sharon says the first part of the gardens should be ready to go in early June. And if you'd like to help out, head over to ashashouse.org. Well, cyclists from around the U.S. are making their way here to the Metro for a major bike ride. And our Philip Katafamo was there alongside the racers and brings us into this first-time event for our city. What a fun event, and if you're watching while you're visiting from out of town, thanks so much for tuning in. We're just a few weeks out from our Stuff the Truck food drive, and we're looking for help gathering non-perishable food items and cash donations. On June 5th, you can drop off your donations at 4 Methodist locations in Omaha, Fremont, and Council Bluffs, too. The First Alert 6 crew is going to be there. Make sure to stop by and see us at 2 different locations. We'll be at 89th and Dodge and 192nd and Dodge. The event runs from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. so you have plenty of time to make it out. Well, if you're looking to adopt a pet, listen up. The Nebraska Humane Society has one cute kitty just for you. We'll take a look at her coming up. And taking a look outside with our Union Bank and Trust CityCam network, taking a look at 144th and West Dodge. Traffic flowing pretty steadily on this beautiful Sunday morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. There is a cute and cuddly kitty who needs a home. I got to meet her last week and she's just as sweet as she looks. But there's one thing that you should know about her health regimen. Here's the Nebraska Humane Society's Pam Weiss with the details. Thanks so much, Pam. The Nebraska Humane Society is at 8929 4th Street. Saturdays and Sundays, it is open from 10 until 5, and it's open from noon until 7 on weekdays. Remember, you can always look up animals and find information at anyhumanesociety.org. Well, it's time now for another check of our forecast. Bo, what should we be looking out for ahead of tonight?
Tonight we need to be tracking, need to watch for some isolated to scattered thunderstorms, and they could be strong. I'll show you the hour-by-hour forecast for Monday coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks for keeping us informed on that, Bo. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, the challenges that recent grads are facing. First Alert 6 investigates why some are having a hard time finding a job. Welcome back. From high school to college and everywhere in between, it is the season of celebrating those new degrees. And even though there is a historically low unemployment rate across the country, the job market is riddled with uncertainty for many new grads. It could be affecting you or many people that you know. In this First Alert 6 investigation, our Aaron Sullivan finds out what these job seekers can do to stand out. That was Aaron Sullivan reporting. Heartland Workforce Solutions says that there are currently around 29,000 job openings in Nebraska. About half of those are here in the Metro. It's noticeably down from December when there were about 54,000 jobs available, but Heartland officials expect that number of openings to pick back up very soon again. Well, as we've been saying all morning, we are less than 24 hours away from the First Alert 6 weather day. We've been talking about it all morning. Bo, what else should we know?
Well, we're going to be expecting these thunderstorms to develop, tracking these storms for the next several hours.
Yes, thank you for keeping everybody updated. Thanks, Bo. Yep. Coming up next, a look at the challenges of living in rural Nebraska, how UNL is working to fill the gap. Plus, we have more on Walmart's warning on increased prices. We'll have the latest on what consumers like you have to say. We're also going to take a look outside with our Union Bank and Trust CityCam network, taking a look at Epley Airfield. If you do have to head out today for a flight, it's a beautiful day to do so this morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're a Walmart shopper, your bill might be going up. The company is preparing all of us to pay more, and that has some shoppers wary. Here's Abby Dodge with more. That was Abby Dodge reporting. And happening tomorrow, President Donald Trump says he will be speaking with Russian President Vladimir Putin about ending the war in Ukraine. Trump making this announcement on social media yesterday. It comes after representatives from Ukraine and Russia held face-to-face talks in Turkey on Friday. Trump also says he plans to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other members of NATO after his talk with Putin. Well, since severe weather is headed our way, Bo, how should we all be preparing for this first alert weather day tomorrow?
Well, you definitely should be prepared, especially for late afternoon into the evening. Make sure you have a safety plan in place of showers and storms. So, of course, Emily will be here tonight to bring the latest alerts or latest updates. And then, of course, tomorrow, the weather team will be here to track those storms.
Yeah, of course, we never want to see too severe storms, but thank you for always helping us be prepared and for some great tips. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Bo. Well, here in the Metro, we have a day for honoring our loved ones who have passed. Collective for Hope held its annual Remembrance Day and Walk, and they help people navigate grief. It happened downtown at Miller's Landing. People there carried tokens of their loved ones in their memory. They also participated in activities. Collective for Hope is a local nonprofit that's been providing free grief support for nearly 3 decades. About 20 years ago, they helped a grieving family who lost their young son. And today, his mother is still involved with the nonprofit.
What an opportunity to go somewhere and have somebody help us speak the words of death into our daughter, because we didn't know how to move forward and we didn't know what words to say to her. And so the Collective for Hope, well, like I said, Teddy Bear Hollow at the time, was absolutely amazing for us as we journeyed through that.
What an important cause. Collective for Hope is working on opening a new grief center in Omaha next year that will provide free grief therapy and counseling. They do take donations for their cause, and we have more information on how you can help and donate up on our website, firstalert6.com. Well, when it comes to rural Nebraska, the lack of local legal expertise can cause a real challenge when representing people in need, especially children. But over at UNL, the College of Law is working on establishing a new center aimed at shrinking those legal deserts. The Nebraska Children's Justice and Legal Advocacy Center new director says that there are currently 12 counties in Nebraska without a single attorney. Another 18 only have 3 or fewer.
What could make a big difference is the distance that attorney would have to travel to meet with you because they're not geographically close to where you live. And not just convenience, but that relationship that can come when your attorney is living nearby you and understands the unique challenges that you experience in your own community.
For now, the center still needs another phase of approval before officials decide on a launch date. Still ahead, Bo's coming back with one final look at your forecast, plus onto our Hollywood entertainment news, a movie that you might want to see in theaters. Welcome back. A classic film series is back on the big screen. 14 years after the last Final Destination movie, it's coming back with those new and weird ways for people to die. David Daniel has a look. Oh man, you never know what to expect with those movies. We'll have to look out for that. Well, in the Sandhills, they're hosting dogs big and small for the annual Nebraska Kennel Club Dog Show. Whether they have decades of experience or they're considered the next generation, hundreds of the top dogs and handlers from across America arrived in Lincoln, attempting to sniff out that coveted Best in Show prize from the Nebraska Kennel Club.
The hardest part about showing Frank is probably containing his big personality while he's in the show ring. He's a lot sometimes.
Well, 13-year-old Lena Alschwede, she's one of the youngest handlers at the weekend's event. She says that getting the chance to bond with her pug Frank is the most rewarding part of the show experience for her.
And then Thursday will be the nicest day next week with sunshine and normal highs in the 60s and 70s. So again, Emily will be here tonight to bring us the latest updates. And of course, the weather team will be here tomorrow tracking those 2 rounds.
Yeah, we'll be looking out for all of that. Of course, today you still have some time to enjoy the sunshine before it all happens, so if you can get out there, make sure to get out.
Highly recommend doing that today, folks.
Yes, we'll be out. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Have a fantastic day.